This is not vengeance. This is punishment. Oh, crap. Totally botched that one up. Anyway. Hello, everybody. Ooh. Welcome back to Orange Hat. Here to bring you another March Madness stream. The Madness of Frank Castle. Now, this is the theme of this month. I am taking characters from different movies and going over especially those who gone crazy or mad or insane. And, well, today is Frank Castle. Last week was Clyde Shelton. And I am going to be going over the different stages of this man's journey. And essentially, yeah, what led him to go down this path. So Frank Castle, everybody knows his story. Happy-go-lucky, counter-terrorist, or special forces, whatever comic or movie, get your fancy, but we're going by the movie of 2004's Punisher, where it is played by Thomas Jane. He was in the counterterrorism unit, and he was in the FBI, and he retired because, well, he made some enemies. And unfortunately, those enemies found him and slaughtered his family. The character of the Punisher has the same origin in every universe, unfortunately. His family dies, and it breaks him. And unfortunately, it turns him into somebody who psychologically is considered insane. Well, I mean, yes, we can all say that Batman is insane and all these things here and there. These are people who find that the justice system works too slowly and allows people who are known to be guilty to get off by one mean or another due to the fact that, well, the system doesn't work, you know? That's their view of it. And as we continue on in these different, or in this specific one, because next week is going to be a different thing altogether. Next week is going to be an insane character, but it's not because he was wronged. It was because he couldn't handle reality. So getting into Frank Castle, this is Frank Castle just as he breaks, where his family, his wife, or his family, his father and mother's side were all slaughtered by the Saints family. And they came down and also ran his wife and child down on a dock, beat the crap out of him, shoot him in the chest, and leave him for dead on a dock that's about to blow up. Well, he manages to rouse himself just enough to get off the dock. And he then is healed or taken care of by a man named Candelaria. And this is him after he was taken care of for a while and realizing that nothing was done about his family's murder. His father's house was boarded up and his guns left behind, which is kind of weird, but okay. And so he takes all the guns and he starts grooming himself, just starts drinking a lot. And that's another part of things like this. They will seek to numb themselves. The madness of Frank Castle is one that is brought on by a gut punch, because as you see when he is running towards his dead family who got run down on the dock, Thomas Jane literally stops, turns around as if somebody just punched him in the gut really fucking hard. And all the air was just let out of him. He lost his air. And then holding his family and having that immediate rage to try to sustain him. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. And, well, yeah, he does, or he gets nearly killed. But rising from that, he realizes that the justice system isn't going to help him. He approaches them. He's like, it's been 5 months since my family was killed. I don't see one man in jail. Well, obviously you're upset. Is that the word? And then he gives off the I used, or I get upset, this and that, giving different examples. And then if that's what upset means, then how do I feel now? If you know the word, tell me, because I don't. This is a man who takes his madness, though. This is the brilliance of Frank Castle. He's not just insane. He's also methodically insane. He's psychopathically insane. And he's also a genius, too, because he sets up his armory, his weapons, his car, decks it out with armor, windows and whatnot to protect from firing or from firearms. And then he starts going on his mission, kidnapping the low level and realizing, you know what? I'm going to do something a lot worse to them than they ever could do to me. They took everything from me. I'm going to punish them. I'm not going to get vengeance on them. I mean, vengeance is, or as he says, vengeance is an emotional response. It's not a valid motive. When I'm glad I didn't miss the appointment, doctor. Hey, yes, I am Dr. Orangehead. Now, folks, I am not a real doctor. I do want to clarify that. I'm not a real doctor. But this is a psychological evaluation of Frank Castle, essentially. And this man has lost everything. But yes, when he starts coming up with plans of opportunity and observation, he decides to make his plans or put his plans into action. He's going to torment them a little bit here and there. He's going to make them lose some things here and there. Thoughts on Dolph? Or I have not seen that one, so I cannot really give my thoughts on it. But I'm going by the by this Frank Castle. This one here. Thomas Jane's Frank Castle. Before he becomes the Punisher, essentially. This is pre-Punisher Frank Castle Punisher. Because at the end of the movie, he declares himself the Punisher. But he is just starting it in this movie. I wish they had continued on from that movie. But anyway, Frank Castle basically learns or uses all of his knowledge and resources, all of his resources that he kept off grid, so to speak, his weapons, his explosives, and all of that he owned due to the fact that it's called a fallback option, you know? All military and government assets have them if you work in any sort of counterterrorism or any sort of I do agree, he is the best Punisher. I have not seen Warzone though, so I can't really make I cannot really make a true comparison. But hello to Jarrell Mason as well, and Junebug. But yes, this is a man who, he's broken. When you see your family dead, when you see your family murdered, much like Clyde, this is, or Clyde Shelton from last week, folks, from Law Abiding Citizen, he wanted to burn it all down. The justice system, as well as those who wronged him, where the Punisher took a different route. Punish those who wronged him, yes, but not going after the system. No, he's going to shame the system. He's going to show the system his way of doing things and whether it is more adequate than them. I'll keep you on screen, but I have to watch later. Okay, thank you so much for the watch time, Conroy. That is very much appreciated. Also, folks, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the stream out. Smash that like button. As the Punisher in a cameo. No shit. Now I'm definitely gonna have to watch that freaking movie again, just to try to see if I can find it. Because goddamn it, Junebug, don't you be dropping shit like that unless or if I can easily find it. Oh man, I will. You bet your ass I will. But somebody who is basically, it's like, nope, you're not going to help. You're not going to do anything because of these rich fuckers. Well, fine, I'll do it. And he does it in such a master. This is a masterclass of vengeance. This is a masterclass of vengeance, folks, where Frank learns everything he can about his enemy, their habits, their schedules, and he gets it all from a person who is sick and tired of working for him, of the Saints. And hold on, I need to take a drink. Oh, coffee. Gotta love it. And this is a guy that just, well, he plays the long game. Somebody who is broken from trauma, constantly reminding himself of the trauma, drinking to try to keep that that pain at bay, and also finding his release in the punishment of others. As the guy that goes after Joni finds out, well, this guy's not somebody to fuck with. He tries doing butterfly knife right in the face, grabs the butterfly knife, pops him right here on the bridge of the nose, folks. Right in this area. That is an immediate tear response where you will immediately it's in the wedding scene where Kristen Dunst is running and you see Thomas Jane look at her. Oh, nice. I've read a couple of different comics here and there over my childhood. Can't remember them to save my life. But Jarrell, are you on? I believe you are on X, yes? Jarrell? I am going to give you a story for you to read later when I'm done the stream. If you are on X, hit me up on DMs, and I will send you a link to a Word document. It is called The Cleansing. It is my Marvel story, and I think you will appreciate it. This is a Marvel story that breaks all the fucking rules. And yeah, you are going to be like, holy shit. What kind of twisted fuck thinks up a story like this, you know? So yes, if you want a good Marvel story, folks, I will give you a great Marvel story. One that doesn't follow the soft kids being a good example for the kids kind of story. No, this is a fucking Marvel story that's for adults. That's the kind of Marvel story that I got going. And I think you'll like it. Doesn't have dialogue. I'm not very good with dialogue. I suck at dialogue. So, but it does give the nitty-gritty violence, and it also gets a bit gory. And yeah, I think you'll like it. But I digress. Getting back to Frank Castle. Now, this is a man who has his mission. And step one is basically wheeling the money out scene here, where he's making a statement. I'm going to start taking things from you. There's nothing you can do. You can't find me. You could try, sure. But guess what? I'm not going to make it easy for you. You come after me, I'm only going to come after you harder. So, okay, yeah. They send a person after him. Okay, he kills him, takes his car. So then they send a Russian after he blows up their money. He's like, I'm going to keep coming after you now. You sent one of the best assassins you got. Okay. Well, all right, I'm going to blow up your money again. I'm going to keep attacking your money because that you're into money laundering. I'm going to take the money. I'm going to fuck with you. I'm not going to just kill you. That's too easy. No, I am going to tear you down brick by brick, and then I'm going to make you self-destruct. The amount of pain a person must feel to in order to have a plan like that, folks, is monumentally mind-breaking. You cannot have that level of trauma, or you cannot have that level of insanity, of insane sanity. Yes, it's a new term, insane sanity. And essentially, folks, it takes a crazy mind to come up with how he's going, or somebody who has the insanity to do something sane. Because you have the resources and you're insane enough to do this, to go after people like that are basically organized crime, but not the mafia. That are or they're rich and they could go after you in many different ways, and yet you're still incredibly of sound mind to fight back. His home, the place that he goes to, that loft area, has so many different air or weapon backup systems, like the door that you and the grenade hitting the table to pull out a revolver. I mean, all sorts of things. Not to mention a real knife that you stab into Kevin Nash when he comes a knocking. Yeah, Kevin Nash really got stabbed. And I feel bad for Thomas Jane, folks. Oh, yeah, I got new headphones. Ugh. And I love these headphones. They're noise canceling too. But the thing is, folks, this guy fucking his entire room is set up to be a weapon in itself. When somebody knocks, he immediately grabs his gun because he knows he's pissed off a lot of people. And so, yeah, this is a person who continues to fuck with these people to get him to hate him, to get him to be less than stable, you know? And then he's like, okay, now that you are, or you sent your best after me, I got my ass kicked, but I also still fucked won when it came to the Russian. I mean, when you are in a knockdown brawl that's lasting a little too long and it's against a bigger opponent, you got to learn to fight dirty. Frank takes a fucking pan of boiling grease and whoops, right in the dude's face. His face was basically melting in the comics. But in the movie, they had to do they put a little bit of a tiniest bladder in there to kind of make his face kind of pulsate after he got burned with the grease, which was so fucking great. And so he then basically goes to work at, well, they need to, or they hide when the bad guys come a calling, and they terrorize one of the kids, Ben Foster's character. And he realizes, I have to get away from them. I mean, yes, these people respect me. They consider me family, but I can't stay near them. They are in trouble. They are, or they will be targeted if I am around. So now, after he gets patched up a little bit, now remember, this is him or he goes after the Saints and executes his plan while he's still injured. While he's, I mean, the amount of punishment his body took when fighting the Russian, he's got a concussed head from a grenade going off. He was thrown or smashed through walls. His face smashed against another wall. Stabbed in the shoulder. A lot of different blunt force trauma. I mean, this guy taking a lot of beatings, and then he goes after them. He goes after the people who need the punishment. He declares his intent. Civis Pacem Parabellum, Frank Castle's dead. And this isn't vengeance bit. And well, yeah, then he goes on his punishment tour. And I love the vest. I love the vest. Absolutely love the vest. And he goes after them by doing a homage to the Crow in the parking lot. And then he plants explosives in the building to make sure that if anybody tries to escape, they don't. And he uses the champagne as a shock and awe trap with an explosive mine there to disorient and kill as many as possible. And he's waiting for it to go off. And then he finds the son who shot him in the chest. And I like that he's like, "You're a brave kid, or you're a tough kid, you must work out. You ever try isometrics? This anti-personnel mine weighs about 5 pounds. Not much. But try holding it up with an outstretched arm." And then he ties it off. So once the kid's arm drops due to the fatigue that naturally sets in from all the blood rushing down your arm due to the fact that it's going downhill, gravity, folks, yeah, you're going to get weaker. And then, boom, kills himself. Or he essentially kills himself, but Frank is responsible for his death. And then he goes after Howard Saint. Now, also, Saint had already murdered his wife because he felt, or he thought that and his friend, because he thought that they were cheating on him. And so he's already broken down mentally as well. And this is when he loses the shootout against Frank. And then Frank, who has been planning this all along, broken. Basically, you took everything from me. I made you take everything from yourself. And now that you are completely broken, mind and body, you will die in the most painful way possible. Because I will make you know that you killed your best friend. I will make you know that you killed your wife. Not only did you kill them, you killed them for no reason. This is the madness of Frank Castle. Just starting to blossom. He then strings him to a car, plants another explosive on the back of that car, and lets the gas loose. Or Jimmy's the gas with a rod or something. And starts blowing up all the other cars around him. And then he does the last one where he blows up the car that he's attached to while the guy is burning. And then not only that, the last coup de grace was that it blew up straight up and then came back down onto him, killing him completely. So yeah, that's called punishment. But he's not done there, folks. He knows that somebody had to have ratted him out. And it was his friend in the movie who didn't have his watch anymore. And he goes after him next. This was a deleted scene, by the way, from the movie itself. And he tells him, "I'm not going to kill you." Gives him a bullet and walks away. Or there's a gun on the table, he gives him one bullet, and then he walks away. And the guy uses the gun on himself because, yeah, he's responsible for the death of the Castle family. And then Frank Castle makes his pitch at the end of the movie. "Those who do wrong to others will come to know me well. The murderers, the rapists, the psychos, the sadists, Frank Castle is dead. Call me the Punisher." It's not vengeance, folks. Vengeance is an emotional response. It's not a valid motive. This guy will go after anyone who breaks the law to an egregious amount, to such an amount to which the law can't handle it. If you are beating on your wife, he might show up and just kick your ass. If you're laundering money and killing other people, look out behind you. He's there to kill you. He doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care who gets in his way. If they have or if they are doing wrong to others, he's going after them. Law be damned. This is a person who has written off the law as inadequate. And yet he has the resources to wage a continuous war on crime. And he is essentially becoming a criminal himself. This is vigilantism. It's illegal. And yet he doesn't care. He'll continue to do it. He stays on the road. In real life nowadays, Punisher couldn't exist. He'd make it a couple towns before state and federal law enforcement catch up to him. But back then, yeah. He could get maybe a couple towns and then into another city, different state, do the same thing. You need to have infinite resources in order to do something like what Frank Castle does. But again, he doesn't care. His family's dead. He has nothing to live for, except for the punishment of those who wrong others. And accountability is all well and good, folks. Accountability is a good thing. Making sure that people are held to account for their wrongdoing, the law, and whatnot. It is a good thing. It is an imperfect system. And it is because of that imperfection that Frank Castle goes in and enforces his own law, which is natural justice. To shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. No, this is punishment. Anybody who thinks that they can get away with breaking the law, harming others, killing people, doing whatever, he'll kill them. And he won't care. This is a person that in the comics, Ghost Rider tried using the penance stare on him. And he looked at him like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? I don't feel any remorse for what I have done. They all deserved it. This is a person whose sanity is so cracked that he is so sure in his convictions that the penance stare doesn't work on him. Now, yes, there are other versions in which it does work on him in different universes and stuff, but that particular universe in which Frank Castle stares down to Punisher and is like, bring it on. I don't fucking care. I will continue doing it and I will fucking sleep beautifully. That's the kind of madness that this man is. He can freaking beat reflected sin and not feel a damn thing. It takes a special kind of psychopath to reach that level, folks. And Frank Castle is that psychopath. This man has absolutely no fucking qualms about killing those who have done evil. And he will not care if that evil or if his actions are reflected upon him. He just doesn't care. He'll gladly go to hell and back. Crazy thing, I believe also in the comics, he's ordained. So yeah, that's interesting. That's probably why the penance stare didn't work on him. But it's like, here's the thing. I don't care. Dude, you slaughtered an entire family of people. And they slaughtered an entire family for no reason. What's your point? This is Frank Castle. Basically, let me give you an ideal version of Frank Castle in an interrogation room. He just got done wiping the floor with a bunch of mafia. Does any of this matter to you, dude? You just murdered a bunch of freaking mafia, and they're going to come at you as hard as they can. Okay. We're going to have to put you in, or we're going to have to lock you up. Fine. Then when he's in prison, people are going to come after him. Oh, okay. Basically, he's going to pull the Rorschach line from Watchmen. What is it going to take for you people to understand? I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. You come at me, I'll kill you. I won't hesitate. I'll just snap your fucking neck. I won't care if I get a fucking life sentence. I just don't care. And that's the madness of Frank Castle. He is completely devoid of caring about the pain he causes to those who have wronged others. I mean, it's all well and good, but here's the thing. Deep down, any normal human being would care about what they have done. Deep down, they would care. Frank Castle had that ripped out of him in such a traumatic way that he doesn't care. That's the madness of Frank Castle, folks. And that is going to lead me to end this video. It's not going to be 45 minutes or whatever. No, the madness of Frank Castle is done in about 30 minutes. So, yeah. But thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Next week, folks, we are going to cover a different level of madness. The madness of Aaron Hallam. Yes, Benicio del Toro plays a character who is brutal, crazy, and when I say crazy, I mean batshit crazy. So, yeah, we're going to get into that from The Hunted. Jarrell Mason, if you are still watching, let me see if you messaged me on X so I can be able to find you quicker. Let's see here. Jarrell. You haven't messaged me on X yet, so I have not found you. I will have to find you on X. Hey, sexy goth girl, you're coming in just at the ending. I'm sorry, honey. But, yeah, you're coming in just at the end. But, yes, Jarrell Mason, message me on X if you want that Marvel story that I'll send you in Word from a Word document or a Google Docs. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Next week is the madness of Aaron Hallam. What's going on this week? Well, nothing really going on this week except for the Orange Hat Uncensored at the end of the week. And then back to, oh, you're home? That's good. That's good. Glad to hear. Still, rest up. I heard you had quite a surgical procedure. So continue to rest. But yeah, next recap is not going to be the Dragon Ball Z stuff. No, folks, that's next, or that's the week after, and we will have a special guest, Damajanai, who is also a Dragon Ball Z geek. So we're going to be geeking out about that in 2 weeks, or 2 weeks from, or the week after next Sunday. So make sure that you guys are ready for that one. Don't worry, I'll be going back and watching this. Awesome. But yes, this is yes, madness, folks. It comes in many different shapes, styles, forms, where Clyde Shelton broke completely. Frank Castle broke in some ways worse, but also in some ways less than Clyde Shelton. Where Aaron Hallam is a whole nother level. So with that out of the way, folks, you all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. I will see you on the Barroom Podcast tonight at 8 p.m. On Society Reviews channel. So thank you all so much for tuning in. You all have a wonderful night. And always remember, stay humble.
Are you done? Are you done?